welcome to our December wedding market update. We are talking all about engagements and proposals. A lot of them are coming. I want to talk through all the trends, all the trends of these couples that are coming up, everything that's happening over the next few weeks and months. The engagement boom ticks off next week, and we are here to help. I'm Hamish, the founder of Bridebook. If we haven't met before, absolutely lovely to have you all here, and let's kick off. First up, as always, an enormous welcome. 80 new businesses have joined our amazing industry. Welcome to you all to the greatest industry in the world, and wishing you an amazing journey ahead and successful 2024. Our agenda for today, we're going to be racing through who's proposing and when are they proposing, when will they marry and their budgets, what personalization are they looking for, and what traditions are changing, what are big trends for 2024, why we'd highly recommend you looking at or focusing on authenticity and also on sustainability, and also looking at tech and how tech's getting involved with couples and how they're embracing tech. And as always, we'll finish with some shout outs, some brilliant businesses in our industry. So first up, our engagement report is here. We have surveyed over 3,500 couples and is absolutely packed with amazing insights we hope will be as helpful as possible. I'm going to be running through highlights from it now, but I'd really recommend when you have a full tummy of turkey, maybe you find a moment, hopefully you have better things to do then, but find a moment to look through. This can hopefully really influence how you're talking to couples, how you're positioning your marketing, how you're writing copy, your social. It can affect absolutely everything, and we want you to absolutely shine out there. So there are 4 trends we see from this data for 2024. The first one is Gen Z is here. We did a recent update all about Gen Z, and do watch that back. I'll give you some highlights on it at the moment. Weddings is all about being personalized and unique experience. That's what's being valued. That's what couples are hunting for. Gen Z, climate conscious. They're looking for sustainability, for secondhand opportunities, showing how you can embrace that's very important. And finally, the color for 2024 is my favorite color, which is green. And that is very prevalent. We see in the data. Also, this trend of rustic is the top style couples are looking for. So who's proposing and when? Brace yourselves, because engagement season is coming. So Gen Z is now massively on the rise. This is an audience who are the younger demographic, who were born since 1995, so sort of age 28 and younger. You can see this chart that's rising very much, and these Gen Z trends is only going to grow. This audience is obviously only getting older, everyone is, and all their behaviors are going to influence the industry for years to come. They will be swapping over time with this middle millennial audience. They have short attention spans, they're visual, they're video led. We're going to talk through lots of this. Highly recommend watching the other update. They talk about social proof a lot. This is how do they build trust in a business? That's through reading reviews, seeing your authenticity, and then looking for individuality. That's really shines through sustainability, through how they can personalize, how you show your personality is really, really important. And the average age of someone getting engaged today is now 30. They've been dating for 4 years. If that's yourself, good luck over the coming weeks. But we can see this age has been increasing over time, as that's been an ongoing trend for a couple of decades now. Couples getting older, this means they have more independence. They often have more disposable income themselves, and this is the behavior that's going on. So what's happening over the next few weeks? I'll jump to the next slide. Actually, 75,000 couples are going to get engaged from next week until February. That's about 34% of all couples. You'll see this spike coming through here. 11% are going to get engaged on Christmas Day even. That's 25,000 couples. You see these proposal dates coming up even. The 24th or 25th, I think that's a week on Monday, Christmas. 24th, the day before, then New Year's Eve, then Valentine's Day, then New Year's Day. So these last 2 weeks, I'm sure everyone's busy with Christmas parties of their own or hosting parties, but getting lined up, getting your team ready, starting to think how this big wave is going to come. And this is this audience, as I said, you're age 30 and you've been dating 4 years and you're chatting about marriage, get very excited. So what's going to happen, and this is again from 3,500 couples we've surveyed very recently, social media is a huge impact these days. So 67% of couples will post within a day of getting engaged. 97% will post within a month. That means everyone they know knows they're engaged. And that means there's huge momentum. Suddenly everyone's talking about your wedding. Everyone knows you're engaged. Sorry, I can see I'm about to sneeze. Bless me, excuse me. But on that journey, what's also going to happen is immediately that gives a lot of momentum. People, as soon as they've posted, this is going to be the most liked post they've ever posted in their life. It puts a lot of pressure on the momentum. Have you set a date? They'll start getting recommendations. Have you found a venue? What type of style are you thinking of? All those questions get bombarded, which accelerates their speed into wedding planning. So 76% of couples will now start their wedding planning within a month. So we have that huge spike that's coming from next week. And then that's where this huge wave of planning kicks off. And that's where you want to be absolutely primed for making the most of it. This is this absolute boom time, as we're saying. More than a third of couples of engagements getting engaged. If you're a venue, the first thing they're going to be doing is booking their venue. And that's where you want to be shining, scooping up all those couples in January. And then once they've set their date, that's where they often race into all their suppliers. That's where you want to be set up, immediately after that. Looking at dates of couples who are currently engaged, a third, and this data's coming about over the last month, a third are still looking for a 2024 date. I'd be highly confident the majority of couples who get engaged in this huge spike coming up are looking into 2025. That's what will spike up. So you've still got a chance to close out some of those very last dates you might have available, but really prioritize filling those because the clock is counting down on the chance to fill them for sure. And looking at what dates are coming through, this is the seasonality of 2024 and going into 2025. And you'll see August is the most popular month as a whole. Winter weddings are least common. This trend continues. But what we've seen is September's growing and moving later. You'll see the spike from July versus September. September's a lot bigger. And when we look at the most popular dates of next year, actually the 3 most popular dates for weddings are in September, which is a first, and seeing it moving a bit later. That's great if you still have some of those dates to fill because you've got a little bit more time. But that curve, just so everyone can see it again, so this is the distribution and seeing this large wave coming through. And that's where filling up these dates, the vast majority of these will be Saturdays. Because there's a big trend of people moving into the midweek. Less than half of weddings will be on a Saturday next year for the first time. So 49% of weddings will be on Saturdays, 51% are going to mostly be in the midweek. Thursdays are now even more popular than Sundays. And then Gen Z, when we're talking about Gen Z, obviously the economic climate is challenging, inflation, costs are rising, how that's impacted them. We're actually seeing as couples are expecting their wedding budgets to increase and between £3,000 and £4,000. And that's what we're seeing couples, the majority of couples are increasing their wedding spend to cope with these increased costs. And also as over time, wedding costs, wedding expectations, couples have, we've seen the average spend on a wedding increase 16% year on year. So actually above inflation over the last year. You are expecting to spend more, and that's what's going on in the environment currently. So looking at personalization now, and that tradition, and really personalization is about celebrating yourself. Tradition is recognizing things that maybe were less close to you, but following that sort of ceremony or age-old traditions, literally. And what we're seeing is that unique and speciality is really coming through. So in catering, you see this huge breadth of what people are looking for these different unique moments for them. The same we see when you actually then zoom into catering. So pizza vans are very popular, but then going into all these different unique things. You've got Yorkshire pudding rolls, 18% of people looking at these, crepes and waffles and bubble tea and even Korean corn dogs. Like, people are hunting for how they can do something very unique to them. I remember for my own wedding at midnight, we served crumpets because it's something my wife and I really like. And we also had mac and cheese because we once lived in New York. Couples want to know they can celebrate every little moment in their way, and finding ways to show that off yourself, that you're a venue or a caterer or any type of wedding business, showing you can find what's special to them and celebrate it, is what couples really want. We see this even more in guest entertainment. This breadth, photo booth is not popular, but this list is actually incredible. There are hundreds of responses in here. See, 3% on axe throwing and crazy golf and fire dances and things like that, showing even if it isn't something a couple's maybe going to race towards, showing you have this breadth and showing they can find something that's, their thing, or they think their guests will love. Showing that breadth is what couples are hunting for, and as a way to really stand out. Cakes, we're seeing more than a third of couples, Gen Z couples, want a 3-tier cake. Cakes are still very popular and a centerpiece of a wedding. And looking at the different styles there and looking at flavors, we're seeing vanilla and chocolate are at the top, but you're seeing some differences. Gen Z, this younger generation, are looking for red velvet. Maybe more traditionally, Gen X, which is couples born really before 1981, looking for lemon cakes, lemon drizzle cake, things like that. The royal Harry and Meghan's cake was a lemon drizzle cake, I remember. So maybe that's a trend from there. But again, looking for showing your breadth as a cake maker, showing this personality will really help you shine. And then on the what's going up, what's going down, on traditions, you'll see some traditions really rising. So on parents walking you down the aisle, see Gen Z's, that's still very popular, 79%. You'll start to see things like confetti. More than half of couples don't plan on having confetti. More than half don't plan on having favors. Only a third are going to do a bouquet toss. So looking through how these trends are changing, I think there's a slide I missed here actually, but Gen Z, many fewer are letting their parents or having their parents invite their friends, and many more are bringing pets to their wedding. So trends are definitely changing. Seeing how you can embrace this and talk about this authentically is really important. Another trend that's very interesting, which often maybe come over from America, where it's been popular for a long time, is more multi-day affairs for their weddings. So having rather than a one-day wedding, trying to have other items either side. So the rehearsal dinner is an American tradition that's becoming increasingly popular. Having a sort of hungover brunch, often it's called the next day, talking about the stories, getting a chance to reminisce. All of these are increasing, and very much more with Gen Z than the older generations. So it's something to look at how you can embrace that. Doesn't have to be a very formal next day breakfast, but is there some way you can allow them to hang out the next day or have some fun, will help you shine, or to do something the night before. At our own venue, and so we launched a night before lodge actually this year. So one of the wedding party can stay there with a couple of guests and get ready early, and they often have a family dinner there, and it helps them get to the house a bit earlier, and it's been very popular, trying to work out how you embrace these trends, and that's been great for us. Oh, I've already mentioned that. I thought we'd remove the slide, but parents, friends, sadly they're on the way out. Pets, lucky you, your cats and dogs and whoever else are on the rise and getting the invite. So now looking at style trends for 2024, and this stuff you want to embrace in your marketing, use that language, outreach and your copy on your Bridebook profile, or showing real weddings or pieces like that, showing your fait with this allows you to get in front of this audience and resonate with them. So the three styles that really stand out, and words that you want in your vocabulary, I'd encourage, is romantic, fun, and memorable. So romantic is probably more focused on that intimacy and the importance of a wedding about two people. That fun, maybe thinking more about the guests and that energy of a wedding. And then on being memorable is that whole multi-sensory one-off experience. Then how you pull that all together. And you can see these wonderful trends. Intimacy is a close second. But then that balance with having a lot of fun, how you pair those two and show the journey of a wedding has many different sort of scenes of a movie or of a play. I often think the acts of a play, how you can have show the reverence of the ceremony and then the wildness of the party. People going on that journey is incredibly exciting, and showing how you can add to that. Whether you're musicians or axe throwers might add some. Axe throwers will make it memorable. Colors, as we mentioned, greens is the color of next year. Sages, forest, emerald, greens, and looking at other colors. And then blues is the number second. And then looking also at, which is great fun, is Gen Zs also seem to have a lot more, maybe described as self-confidence, of embracing even stronger sort of themes. So looking at, when we go through, 7% of Gen Z weddings are looking at theme. That's double Gen X, almost double millennials, and seeing, the wild or the unique of Disney weddings, Harry Potter, Halloween, throwbacks, trying to bring in something, really different and really unique, something fun and memorable. Looking for moments that definitely isn't for everyone. We can see rustic is the most popular for Gen Zs as well. That's up at 39%, 40% of couples, but showing that sort of yin and yang of traditions close behind it. Also showing you're able to sort of embrace this fun, shows a lot about yourself as a business, and builds a lot of connection. And then another important one is focusing on authenticity and sustainability. So a quarter of couples wish to support small businesses when selecting their suppliers. They want to support local, and we're a very local industry. That's wonderful, showing off how, showing if you're a local supplier or family owned and connected with your community, or locally sourced produce and things like that, really resonates. People want to, your supplier team and your venue team, your dream team, is all, they want to work with people they're going to enjoy working with over a year and more as they plan their wedding. Showing that off really resonates. With Gen Z, a really important thing that's growing very fast as well is showing diversity, LGBTQ friendliness, or how we put that, is triple as important for Gen Z as for Gen X. The same with on neurodiverse friendly. This is 4.5 times as important as recognized or from Gen X to Gen Z. So looking for ways to show this off, show it through your marketing, through sensitivity, through your vocabulary, through language, through inclusivity is fantastic. And it's really important what's the fastest growing audience who are getting engaged. So to highly recommend this. And then also sustainability. We see almost on every single metric for sustainability is becoming increasingly important. And this can be on plant-based confetti or recycled decor, couples looking for pre-loved dress and pre-loved jewelry and things like that. Fashion is really important, and showing off your care for this and how you recognize it is really important. Allows to build that connection with couples as well. So finally on to tech. Very excited nearly 90% of couples are now using Bridebook to plan their wedding, which we are immensely proud of. We're going to chase down the remaining 10% over the next 2 weeks, but we're very honoured and flattered to have all these couples with us, and are always improving our product. If you haven't been on it this year, we did a full redesign, helping guide couples much more than we did previously. That's been immensely popular, and delighted to see these numbers always increasing. And on social media, this is where maybe, well, most relevantly is looking at the trends of Gen Z. And this just sets the trend of what's coming next. So we said this Gen Z audience is only going to grow. And you can see, whilst if you were born before 1980, you're a Gen Xer, you might think TikTok's not that relevant. You can see how important it is, and racing up. 5 times as used by Gen Z as Gen X couples, and double as much than millennial couples. So getting in front of that audience, and TikTok, as we spoke about in the previous update, is about video, is about showing authenticity, is showing behind the scenes, it's showing it's fast paced, it's short attention span, it's not highly curated, it's much more real than a perfect Instagram post, and finding ways to start embracing that and showing your sort of true self, not just this very flat, perfect image that a photo can sometimes only show, showing that depth through video and adding more personality will really help you shine. Getting videos onto your Bridebook profile, real weddings, the About Us. We have lots of FAQs to show off why you're different and special and what matters to you. That's what couples really look for. So we said so many times, the individuals is why, your personality is why couples book you, and showing that off and finding that connection, finding that trust, finding you're the person I trust my wedding with is such a huge decision. To showing off why you're a great match for them is amazing, and that's through personality and building that trust. And then a quick one on AI, the talk of the world. AI is starting to creep into the wedding industry. 5% of people are using AI to draft their speeches. We'd encourage them, they should definitely write their own speeches, not use AI, but maybe it'll help give them at least some structure. But you'll see this coming, and we're embracing it in Bridebook in many different ways, and you'll see more of that, creating playlists on structuring stuff. But that's probably a trend for next year. So what we have when we break it down is these 4 key trends. Keen to dive into a tiny bit more after this. Gen Z is here. Look at what they're doing, and following those trends is setting what's coming next for the next sort of, as this generation grows and replaces millennials. That's going to put you on the front foot, and as almost allows you to see into the future of what to focus on. A key part of that being personalized and unique experiences are highly valued. Showing off, I don't know how many times I said personalized, personality and uniqueness on this call, but work out ways to make that shine and make yourself shine. One part of that being showing sustainability, showing diversity and inclusion, showing how you recognize the wider world and a part of it, and a modern and fresh to deal with, is really very relevant. And then our last one, as we said, the color green and rustic vibes and some of those trends, maybe a Disney wedding thrown in there somewhere, but thinking of those trends for the year ahead. So end of year, you have got, I think terrifyingly, how many days? 12 days till Christmas. We won't start singing yet. Looking at what you can do for the next 12 days. So I'd highly recommend collecting reviews now. Email all your couples saying, wishing you a happy Christmas, who got married with this year, or who got married with you this year, asking them to send you reviews. It's the easiest email you can send. If you have 2 minutes now, send that email out, submit them into your Bridebook. We have the Bridebook Awards going on. As you get a certain number of reviews, we're going to give you awards. This gives you that social proof. You can show it off in your marketing, gives you something to shout about on Instagram, gives you something to differentiate yourself, gives you that mark to show, we had dozens of happy couples last year, and we're recognized for it. So highly recommend getting that review link out there. Chase your account manager if you don't. We'd always love a Trustpilot review as well. I'll send you something on that. And now some quick shout outs for some really exciting stuff in the industry. A big shout out to Burlton Manor, who won the Wedding Industry Awards for Best Midlands, the West Midlands Best Barn, or the Best Midlands West Barn, if we wanted that, but sounds better the first one. But an absolutely amazing venue, and honored to have you on Bridebook. It's a German venue, Hora Darsberg. You've had your 500th inquiry from Bridebook, and you look like an incredible venue, and delighted to see you're thriving. Brocken Court Hall Hotel, who won the best hotel wedding venue in the West Midlands, and many congratulations on that. We have Chateau de la Flocelière, who give each of their couples a homemade jam when they book. And this, again, talking about personality and uniqueness, showing that authentic touch. We thought this was a really cool, there's nothing more personal than probably giving someone a homemade jam, and authentic, and shows a lot of thought and care. And we thought that was wonderful. The Hilton Hotel Group, for being one of the great places, voted one of the great places to work. Well done, a fantastic brand. The Exchange 1856, who've converted all 16 of their first show rounds to bookings, which is an amazing achievement for Colette Malik and her team. Many well done, many congratulations. Chateau de Hatton-Châtel, Chateau de Hatton-Châtel, I hope I've pronounced that right, but we think you're the oldest venue on Bridebook, and were built in 860 AD. So excited for your 1300th anniversary in a couple of decades. If anyone's beaten that, do email us, and we will give you the shout out. And as always, a massive thank you. I'm wishing you all an amazing Christmas. It's been a long year. You've created so much joy as wedding businesses. That's what we do. Those memories, everyone sitting who got married with you this year, they're going to be reminiscing of this amazing experience you gave them, and so excited for all those couples you're going to get to entertain next year. The UK Wedding Report is coming with loads more detail, and a chance to give you huge deep dives into every part of your business and helping you with your marketing and thriving. And always just an enormous thank you from me and the Bridebook team. We're absolutely honored to be part of the wedding industry and keen to help everyone thrive next year and beyond, and absolutely love doing that. We've been doing our monthly updates now. If you have been enjoying them and find them useful, something I'd be immensely grateful for, if you had your phone now, you can just open your camera and scan this, give a chance to give us a Trustpilot review. We read every single one. We email every single one around the whole company, saying well done to different team members who stand out. So something I'll be enormously grateful for. If you've got feedback or things, if you haven't been enjoying them, please email us. You can email hello@bridebook.com and give us suggestions. But we've been getting great feedback on these and hope they've been really useful. Want to help as much as possible. So yeah, if you just open that camera app, it should take you straight through to a link. But most of all, it's a massive happy Christmas. And if you're celebrating Christmas, happy holidays. You're getting to have a break. I hope you are. And well done. A chance to reflect on the year end. Get those couples you did a brilliant job for writing reviews for you, and get ready for all those couples you're going to bring a lot of joy to next year. And we're always here to help. We want you to thrive. Absolutely wishing you and your families a brilliant year ahead. And thank you so much. Happy holidays.